Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with the Taylorians. I'm Priti and I will be your moderator for this episode. I'm currently studying international business and marketing, and alongside me, I have another moderator.
Hello everyone, I'm Jess and I will also be your moderator for this episode. I'm currently studying Bachelor of Psychology. We will be representing Taylor's University Student Council.
For today's episode, we're going to talk about all things desi. It's about being brown and being bold. We're excited to invite two special guests from Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club and Taylor's Indian Cultural Society. Perhaps we can start with your intros from Marvind.
Right, thanks, Priti. Hello, guys. My name is Marvin. My full name is Marvin Varma, but people call me just Marvin. And I'm currently studying in Bachelor in Computer Science second year. I just finished my diploma last year, March. So currently, I am the president for Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club. And thank you so much for the invite for coming up to do a podcast with you, Taylor's University Student Council. That's all from my side.
Vino.
Hi guys, thanks Priti. I am Vino, Vinothiny, you guys can call me Vino. And I'm the current president of Taylor's Indian Cultural Society. I have completed my second year in Bachelor's of Law. So yeah, looking forward for this podcast.
Thank you for being here to both of you, and we're looking forward to have a very fun discussion in today's episode.
Right
Yes.
then, we shall begin. So, brown culture. What is brown culture in your opinion?
As what I can tell you guys, for me, brown culture is usually in Malaysia, people call Indians brown instead of calling them dark skin. So I think I think it's usually because of our skin, basically. So not only Indians in Malaysia actually, but mainly if you ask me, a lot of foreigners like Pakistani, Bangladeshi, moreover like Arabs, usually they be called brown culture. So that's what I know so far. Anyone else?
Something very similar where being in Malaysia and being called brown is something very common. So the first thing that comes to my head when someone says what's brown culture, the first thing that comes up to my mind is, Indian. So it's basically, from my point of view, it's basically from all, it's diverse, right? You have too many mixtures and everything. So whatever that is related to brown skin is basically brown culture.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you. It's like being brown is just about the color, like being brown skin basically. And I don't think it just limits to like Indians. Like it's just more about like Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and then like Marvin said, like Arabs, anyone whose color is brown. Yeah. What about you, Jess?
I could agree with that, but like I think like for me, I've already like built a stereotype in my head. So like whenever someone is like, they'll say the word brown, and the first thing that goes into my head is like, oh, Indian, they're talking about Indian. I mean, it's kind of bad, but like I'm also like agreeing with the fact that it's a stereotype for myself. So for me, if you say like, in my opinion, what I feel brown culture is that it's the Indian culture, like the way how they are. So that's like the one thing that my head directs to.
Yeah, I think it's also about like being desi. Like, a lot of people like address like you as, oh, I'm so desi, or you're quite desi. Like, have you guys heard it? Like when someone said you're desi? Because I know a lot of people don't know what desi means. Like maybe you guys want to like talk about it. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really know what's the meaning of desi actually, but it's already been categorized for Indians because usually, like Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club, whatever dance we do in Bollywood style or anything, people do call it as desi dance too. So I have a feeling that it has to relate back to Indians, or maybe it's been a part of it for a long time, but don't really know what's the real meaning of it. But desi sounds quite nice to be said like
Yeah,
desi dance.
it sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds pretty. They have the style to say it desi, desi vibes. So whenever you dress up like traditional Indian clothes or anything, people call you, oh, look at the desi vibes on this guy. So usually it sounds nice, and it was a very good caption put on for Indians actually.
Yeah. I feel like desi is like a way of life. Like, it's like how everything around someone's life goes. Like if like there is a particular way they act, it's like, oh, that's such a desi way of doing it. Like it's like how like you've been brought up as well. Like, you know, it's like just like different compared to other like cultures. So I feel like desi is more about culture rather than just like you know, calling someone, oh, desi, they're desi. Yeah.
It sounds beautiful, I feel. Like, I don't know if you all have heard, like, there's this one Bollywood song, it's called Desi Girl. And like whenever I hear that song, like, you know, like the way like Priyanka Chopra is in that song and the way she dances, like you know, it feels so nice. Like when someone is to like address you, like if they say like, oh, you're like so like Desi type. And then like the first thing that goes into my head is like, oh, Priyanka Chopra, like, you know, that way she is, the way she walks, the way she dances, is like really excites me in a way. So I think, yeah, being Desi is like a good thing. It's more like a compliment for me. Yeah.
Talking about dance, right? So yesterday I told my mom about, like, this podcast, and I told her the topic. She was like, "So what is this? Are you guys going to talk about, like, Indians dancing?" The first question she asked. It's like, no. So we had to Google up the meaning of Desi and say it's just like, it's just a brown culture thing. It's not always dance. So the first thing that comes up people's mind when we say Desi, it's like, it's always hyped up and happening.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's because like Indian dancing is like just over the top. Like, you know, it's so like attractive. Like there's like so many different like styles. So whenever like someone says Indian, you clearly think about like, oh, dancing, the outfits, you know, just
Yeah,
about
and like the vibe, the noise, the drums, whatever, the background music and everything.
As long it's noisy and you know it's soothing to the ears, so everybody will still enjoy it. So whether regardless of whether it's noisy or it's very soft, it's as long as desi, it's as long as it's Indian, I think everyone enjoy it.
Oh, and our clothings during the dance and everything that
Yeah.
gives more hype to the music.
I feel like it's because of the clothings is what makes the music and everything so extra. Because like we're just like wearing like over the top like clothing for literally everything and like so colorful, so vibrant. It's like, you know, that oh, when someone is walking, it's like, oh, that's Indian or like that's desi, you know, as stereotypical as it sounds, like that is how it is.
I think it makes it stands out. Like, you know, like let's say there's like an event, right? And then like everyone is like they're wearing dresses and whatsoever. Imagine like us with all like that glittery, glamoury outfit walking, like everyone would just look at us like, wow. So like we actually do stand out in a crowd like that.
I think I would agree with Jazz, because if I do see a girl like that, I'll think of a Bollywood movie straight, and I'll think I'm Shah Rukh Khan to go inside and start dancing with the girl actually. So yeah,
Have
that's
you
how
tried doing that though?
might have experienced it, maybe, who knows.
Oh, Marvin taking inspo from Bollywood movies to get girls.
Most probably, who knows, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, same goes for the girls also. They do fangirl over guys. I think they fangirl a lot of actors, a lot of desi actors, basically a lot of Hindi actors, Indian actors, and you know, they put a scenario in their head in the future that, oh, it can happen to my future guy. So the expectations are very high also after watching this kind of movies.
Yeah, a huge aspect, a huge part of like brown culture is like about like the experiences in the household. Like, you know, don't you guys think like Indian household experiences are like so peculiar and so different compared to like other cultures? I'm not sure if you guys agree, but for me, that's definitely there. Like, I definitely see that Indian and Desi culture is like way different to like other cultures, especially inside the house. So maybe you guys want to like talk about like your experiences in like your house being an Indian or being a Desi.
Have you guys gone through this? Like, have you guys tried cutting your fingernails at night and your mother's going to be like, why are you cutting your fingernails at night?
Yeah. Been there.
Like superstitions are like a huge part of like, you know, Desi households. So Marvin, you're smiling, so I think you have something to say.
No, because I what thing is, because my mom usually puts salt in their hand, and you know, because people, you know, once you do something good for in front of people, in front of public, apparently for Indians they will take it as, oh, there is bad eyes looking at you, so you gotta, you know, they call it suti bodran or something. So they gotta put salt on around the hand, and then they start doing rounds, they start chanting, and make sure the ice goes away with the salt in the hand. And before the mom release the salt out of the hand, she has to you have to do a little spit on it, and then you know you got to throw. So I feel like it's a tradition that's been followed very long back from our ancestors, because not only that, we also put salt around the houses to make sure no evil comes in the house. That's also another thing.
But
So
like,
yeah.
yeah, have you like tried asking your parents like, what do you like? What does it mean? Like, why do you have to do that? Like, have you ever been curious, or you're just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna follow whatever they're doing because yeah, I don't have like, I'm not gonna say anything because then they're just gonna like start with their explanations and it's just no.
Yeah, the thing is, that is why I don't want to ask, because when I start asking, the explanation doesn't go back to where I want. So it's usually going back to, to the same square one. So I just like, okay, just follow it, just go with the flow. So yeah, instead of asking them, instead of getting dead stares at the end of the day, so just listen and say, okay, mom, okay, dad, all right, understood, and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like the explanations are like, they somehow try to find some logic behind it. Not to say it's illogical, but like, they just find some
They
reason.
always beat around the bush to make sense out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's because like it's been like going on for a long time. It's like, being passed on from so many generations. So people have just like started to believe it, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Whatever like Marvin made, like whatever Marvin said, it really made sense. Because I remember there was this once where I came back home and my mom didn't do the salt thing and whatsoever, and everyone was like, "Oh, your daughter is so grown, like wow," and stuff like that. And when I came back home, I straight went to bed, and the next day I had like like coughing and like I had slight fever, and my mother started, "Oh, I think because yesterday I didn't do the salt thing on you, then the people's eyes all kena." Like, you see this kind of thing. And I'm there, like, maybe I get a sore throat, like maybe, I took like something like bad for my throat, like soury stuff or what. But no, like our parents, like their mind straight away goes to like, oh, it's the evil eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, right, don't you guys think that it's so coincidental that sometimes, right, when you do these big performances or something, I don't know, someone compliments you and the next day something wrong happens, and you're like, oh my God, is this actually like true? Like, is there like evil eyes? Like, what is happening?
That is something very true. Like, sometimes people will see if someone like, thinks that you're good looking and all of a sudden you'll just get a pimple on your face out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like, I was like, and then when you go and ask your mom or dad, they'll be like, yeah, see, yesterday that auntie like complimented you, right? So that's why you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why this is a coincidence, but it does kind of make sense,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think like growing up like in an Indian household, like other than all this superstition stuff, like another one more thing that I personally feel like it was a struggle was when they make like, people my age or my cousins or my relatives like a comparison. Like they always compare me like, hey, you see, the lady, her auntie, her daughter scores so well in maths, Even like it's just a slight difference. Let's say like for example, like the daughter got 95 and I got 90. It's like, why you cannot get 95? If she can get 95, you also can get, right? You eat the same thing, right? You all also sleep, right? You all also study, right? And I'm like, how am I supposed to explain to you?
Yeah, like I feel like it's because like in like desi people or like Indian parents are very competitive in their like in everything they do. So they sort of want their kids also to like be like top, like they want their kids to do everything, like they want their kids to be the best at everything they do. So I think it's kind of a way to push their kids. But I think it can really be like pressurizing staying inside like an Indian household because you really have to like maintain your grades, do this, do that, and everything.
And then if there's a doctor in the family, they'll just compare, oh, see, your cousin is a doctor. Why don't you go do medicine? That pressure to do medicine.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I think, once they start comparing you, you will tend to feel quite demotivated actually. But there's also, there's sometimes, you do feel like, you should push further, even though how much you do, so it won't be enough at the end of the day. Just for example, like what Vino said, there's a doctor in your family. So whenever you do something, and the next day if you don't do it, and someone points it out at you, they will start comparing you with the person who is a doctor in the family. Look at him, he's very hardworking. He can do house chores. He can do everything. Why can't you? But I did it yesterday. Today I have something else, but they don't see it. Because they only see what they see right now. They don't see it before or after. I give you a really good example. I'll be studying for like 10 hours straight. I'll be studying for 10 hours straight. My parents won't be in the house. Okay. When the moment I open my phone and they will come and open the door, Marvin, what are you doing? I told you to study, right? What are you doing? Huh? Look at your cousins. They scored A. And what are you doing using your phone? Do you think they spend time using your phone? I said, Ma, you study 10 hours. I didn't see. That's what they usually will say. And then I will be like, okay, I'll go back to studying. So when I go back to studying, I'll be like so demotivated. But then again, I have to still study because that's what they see in presence. I don't blame them, but it's been brought up like that since those days. So that is why parents right now are having the same face again and again. At least now the younger generation do understand how is it like previously and now. So I think the younger generation will be a bit different with their future kids actually.
Mm.
Talking about grades, right? Have you guys had your parents lying to your relatives about your grades that you got, like for your UPSR or your
Oh my
PTC
God.
or STM, right?
I'm-
So when you get a slightly lower grades compared to your cousins, they'll just switch off their phone. They wouldn't want to answer all the calls, and at the same time, all the relatives will start calling you. It's like,
Yeah,
what
the
is it?
relatives calling part. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like it's like my education and all, right? Like I don't ask you whether like your son or your daughter got like 6 A's or straight A's or what. But no, when it's like in my family, if let's say like UPSR results coming up, hello, how are you? All okay? Yeah, all okay. Oh, how's everything? How's everyone at home? All okay. Today UPSR results came out, right? And I'm just get to the point straight, right? Like they'll be like all so nice and sweet, even though they don't wish you for your birthdays, they don't come for family functions, but this kind of results, they of course they remember.
I think
Yeah.
they'll just say, okay, who's sitting for UPSR? They'll list down everyone.
I think the reason why is because if a family is doing well and the other family is not doing well, usually the brown culture usually have jealousy among each other. It doesn't have to be strangers also, it can be among the family members also. So whenever a family is doing well, just say my father and mother is doing well, they expect the son to be times two over that because they are he's the son of the mother father who's doing well. Just say if I don't score well, maybe I got a B plus and some relative asks, usually they will start talking behind everybody's back. Oh, look at the father, mother is so successful in life, both doctors. Look at the son doing art. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with art actually?
Yeah. Oh my
Plus,
God. Like, I really want to address this. It's like, if you're an Indian, they expect you to be in the science stream. And then when you are like in the art stream or commerce stream, they go like, oh, you're taking commerce. Oh, okay. Like,
In their head, it's like if you're an art student, you are like not smart. You're
Yeah.
like you're dumb. Yeah.
Yes. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, just because you're doing science does not mean like you're smart, or just because you're doing arts does not mean you're like any less, it's just about preference. And I really think like they don't really understand that,
Right.
you can choose what like stream you want to go into. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like for me, they made me do my foundation in science. So I was fully in science stream, everything. And then they just, shoved me into law. So it was all science and then law, which I was like, okay, why did I even study science for right now?
at least my mom and dad is a bit more understanding at this time because they are still young. So they let me choose whatever I want. I think if I were to get a really typical kind of Indian family, there is only 4 choices: doctor, engineer, IT. What am I missing?
Law.
So yeah, and also maybe business. Business is the last choice. First two choices is probably engineering or doctor.
Pretty.
Hello.
Oh.
No, I
sorry.
mean, like, yeah, I think I agree with like the understanding part. Like, I think like I'm kind of grateful that even though like both my parents are like doctors, like they did medicine, they didn't really like put that on me. Like, you have to do medicine. Like both of us have done medicine. You should do it. They just let me pick whatever I wanted and whatever I was interested in. So I think I'm like really grateful for that, because science is just not my thing. Like I just can't understand science and just no. Yeah.
Same science I don't understand, but I understand astrology and numerology in the Indian side lah. That's all. I don't know any other science that I know of.
Yeah.
Have you guys had this, like, you get 98 in a test and they don't see that 98 percentage. They'll be like, where did that 2 percentage
2%.
go?
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's like, "Ma, I got 98 percentage. No, it's okay. You could have gotten 100.
100%. Where did you lose the marks? Like where
If
did the
let's
marks
say
go?
someone gets 100% then gone. Then
Gone.
yeah, gone. It's just gone. It's basically like you're just gonna like sit there and you're gonna hear to your parents saying that the 2% that you didn't get, see somebody else can
Yeah.
get.
I remember once, like, I told my parents, like, I got the highest, which was around 80. I was like, your class, no one's smart. That's the first question.
What? You should say I am smart.
80 is not enough. It's like, no one got 90? There's a question. Next question.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would actually convince my parents and I would say that, oh, wow, the highest person who got was 65 and I got 60 and I'm just 5 marks away from being the smartest student in class. and they will try to buy it. But then I think I've been saying that for every semester, every report card day when my parents go and collect it. So I think it failed completely.
Okay,
Speaking about like report card day, right? I remember there was this once where like my parents, both mom and dad, they came to my school, collect the report card, and then like you know you will have the tempat kedudukan in class, right? So for me, like I had was I was standard 3, so I like number 2 lah. And then after that, they started talking to one of these parents after collecting my report card. Started talking to one of these parents, and their daughter got number 1 in the class. So my parents are all like so nice and sweet in front of them and stuff like that. You know, like I also like I thought like okay lah, I got number 2. My parents will be happy, right? The moment I left there, I went in the car and started. You see, I talked to the parents. The parents say what? That the daughter is always studying. The daughter don't use phone like it. And speaking about phone is the problem for every single parent. Everything relates to a phone. You got headache, it's because of your phone. You don't score well, it's because of your phone. Yeah, stomach ache. How ridiculous is that? Everything just relates back to your phone.
I think you break a leg also, it's because of your phone also.
I don't see anywhere else. Look at your phone, glued to your phone. That's the next thing.
But I think also going back to the report card day also, usually students, okay, just say parents always ask, so how's Marvin in class? And you know, when usually the teacher will say, oh, he's a bit talkative. My parents sometimes, you know, sometimes not my parents, maybe can be any of the parents, they will ask, who is he sitting beside? Then if he's sitting beside another Indian boy, he's sitting another Indian who is a very annoying or very childish, who is very playful. Oh, he cannot sit with him, teacher, cannot. Because of him only my son is doing this, that is why. So that is why he's like this now. Please separate them. Or not, his marks he can't reach, he can't become a doctor. So yeah, usually you become like that kind of stuff. So who knows?
And they used to go and meet every teacher, like the ones who is teaching us maths, English, science, BM, Sejarah, even like you know Kemahiran Hidup, like all the subjects they'll have to go get the reports from all the teachers. They'll go around the school and every teacher will just say a very good thing, and then there'll be one teacher, oh, I think she's slightly slacking, and that's it. They wouldn't look at the other teachers. They'll be like, so playing around. Yeah?
I totally agree with that. That really happens. I think like we are not the only ones. Like, you know, before this, when I was younger, I used to feel like, why am I the only one? Like is it just my parents or is it just like everyone's parents and like that? And then now when like, you know, speaking to y'all and I realized that I'm not alone. I'm really not alone.
I mean, we all been surviving alone. So I think we are already strong enough to actually handle the issues, what is actually happening in our life, in our actually daily brown life actually. So to relate with another person, we feel a bit more relief. So yeah, so this podcast was actually, I feel a bit more relief to actually share my opinions, my thoughts. So yeah, I feel that this is how the brown culture is.
And now, like, you know, being in uni, we're always on our laptop and everything. So if we go in a group call and then they hear us talking, it's like, boyfriend, the first question.
Yeah.
It's not even about like talking or anything. If you're on your phone, you're smiling or you're laughing, they don't really care what we're looking at. Oh, why are you smiling? Is it because you're texting your boyfriend? And I'm like, what?
It's like we don't have any other source of entertainment. Like boyfriend is the only reason we smile.
Mm-hmm. That is,
Marvin.
that's I agree. You know why? Because whenever I use my laptop, I'm an IT student. I use it for how long it is, and then my mom will say, "Who you video calling? Huh? Why is there a girl there in your screen there?" I said, "It's my classmate." "Oh, classmate, huh? You sure it's not your girlfriend?" So I can't do anything. I mean, this is my classmate, so I got to do it. But whatever I do, I use my laptop to actually study, because nowadays we have to use it to study online. My mom thinks I'm playing game, and it's obviously I'm on a Google Doc on my left side, and on my right side is something I'll be referring to. But no, my mom thinks I'm playing game because I always play game at night. But it doesn't mean I'll be playing entirely the whole day. So yeah, my mom will always say, "You're not doing anything." I'm like, okay, I just agree and then just move on. I hope my mom doesn't see this podcast.
We'll send her the link. We'll not forget to send her the link.
We will personally do so.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can like move on to the next topic, which is about stereotyping and racism as Indians.
Like, you know, whenever we go out somewhere and our other race friends will be like, "You good at bargaining, right?" First thing, they think that, no, we Indians are good at bargaining. The price would be $10. Like, we know. Can Quran kana? What? It's just $10.
Marvin, are you good at bargaining?
Yes, I could say I'm good at bargaining because I'm actually good at talking to people. So I'll try to talk, I'll try to get to know about their life. As usual, our parents will usually do that. Oh, hi, how are you? How's things? Oh, all good. How's your background? Start talking to them, being nice to them. They also feel wanted. And then, oh, I think this price should be okay, lah, this good price. And then they also, I think for you, okay, lah, bro, you very nice. And then they start giving it to you. So yeah, that's what I usually do it. But I hope I hope nobody catches me.
I think next time if we were to go and get something, we need to bring Marvin along with us.
Yeah, no problem. You want to bargain whatever you want to buy, lehenga, sari, or you want to buy somewhere in Brickfields, you just bring me. I'll start talking to them.
And then, like, there'll be the, hardcore bargaining where you'll just tell a price, and when they say no, you'll just pretend to leave the rest.
you just
take
walk
answer.
away.
you
And then
walk
call you
away.
back.
Yeah, I
It's a
totally agree with
tactic. The walking away is a tactic, because you know that they are gonna stop you. Be like, no, we want to sell this,
that. Solid tactics.
Yeah. Okay, so like a huge part of like stereotyping, right, in like schools or like not even in schools, just like in your daily life, is like people ask you like, hey, you don't really look Indian for an Indian. Are you Indian or like are you like half? Because like you don't look Indian. And like I'm just like so confused. It's like, are Indians supposed to look a certain way?
I think next time, right, when we walk, we should carry the curry leaves because, yeah, we should do that.
to represent ourselves.
Yeah, we are Indian. Almost just take a marker and we write on our forehead. Indian.
I think getting that for me, why people ask me that because maybe the skin tone. Because usually some people will be like, aren't you Indian supposed to be a bit dark? I would say not entirely because we do have, very whitewashed Indians, like the face be very bright, some will be a bit dark, some will be a bit medium. So we have different types of layers, So to explain to them is a bit tough because it's got a whole new level. So we'll just some people will just get too lazy and we'll just say, yeah, we are Indian. Do you speak Indian? Yes, Indian. That's about it, lah. So yeah, to actually just play it off, lah. But some people actually had the intention to hurt you. They'll say, oh, you don't look like Indian. How can you be Indian and all? Usually we will just smile and say, you just be nice and all because I think we should put up an image where we are just Indians, okay? But we have different type of Indians also. We don't speak Indians, but there's different type like maybe Tamil. I mean, mainly I speak Tamil, so there's also other languages to speak on. So I really hope people understand who are Indians, not why are you Indian. You don't look Indian.
So I'll get that from my school and even my lecturers in uni. They're like, girl, do you have a mix of Sri Lankan? Like, no. It's like, do you have any other mix? No. It's like, then what are you? It's like, I'm a Tamil. I'm like, I'm an Indian. Like, no other mix. No. Like, they just can't accept the fact that, like, we look different. We gotta look to a certain, criteria. Like, Indian means they need a certain criteria.
Yeah, true. I mean, I can agree with what Vino just said. It's like when I think, like for example, you said about criteria and stuff, right? Maybe it's like when a person thinks about Indian, then they think that, oh, Indians have an accent when they talk. And like, if we talk like in a proper English fluent manner, then they'll be like, oh, is she actually Indian? Or maybe she has a mixed blood. Yeah, and then maybe the way that we behave also, like, like some Indians are like noisy and some are the quiet ones. So I think like they would go attack the quiet ones and be like, oh, are you Indian? And stuff like that. Yeah, so I think it's just like how our mindset is about how we like generalize Indians in general.
And then they'll be like, you don't smell Indian.
You don't sound Indian.
You don't smell.
Oh, smell.
Like, how do you smell Indian?
I think probably because
you should ask like if they have like an Indian perfume or something.
They'll be like, your hair doesn't look that oily for an Indian. Like, I'll be like, what?
I think because I think back in the school days, a lot of people maybe they have seen Indians who have oily hair, and we will say we'll be using coconut oil. Maybe the scent is they know very well because maybe they have Indian friends in school that they smell. So maybe they asked you why you don't smell
I
Indian.
had this one thing where like we pray every day at home, right? So all those instant sticks, the samrani, all those smell would be all over my clothes. So I will smell holy. Legit, like my friends, like she'll just come, we know, I like your smell. You smell holy. She'll just come, she'll sit beside me.
Okay. Now we can talk about the best part about being Indian or desi.
Finally lah.
Is the
Jeng, jeng,
Bollywood
jeng.
Let's go.
and
Let's
the
go.
music and the movies.
Okay, so let's start. Where you want to start from? Bollywood, Collywood?
I think Collywood lah.
Okay, let's go.
I'm a Collywood fan and also a Bollywood fan, but yeah, so it's the same for me. So as for being Collywood fan, yeah, I do have a few favorite actors and actresses. I don't favor just one person. I think everyone is good in their way. So besides acting, songs are really nice, and I really prefer the olden days kind of songs like the 90s and the 2000s. Still really meaningful, even though I don't really understand, but the music are very soothing. So I really enjoy listening to the songs for Collywood and also the movies lah. And the movies are always very extra. You don't have to say the same for Bollywood. I think both are almost the same.
Yeah,
Which
I
one's
can
better
agree.
though?
I think I can't say a comparison right now, but if you ask me, Bollywood those days were much more extra when it comes to acting. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I am more to a music person compared to movie. So Bollywood always hypes me up. Like, it's
Yes,
just when I
that's
want
the
to
way.
get myself do something, like, we know you need motivation and something. Okay, it's always Bollywood beats. Like all kind of songs will just come in. I'll just put it in a loop and I'll just let it play. But if I'm gonna get emotional, if I just want to be sad, sometimes you just want to be sad for no good reason. Since I understand Tamil, it would be more to Collywood 90s songs where the lyrics and everything would be just there. It will just hit you hard.
The emotions, the feelings that comes out from it.
Oh,
Even
yes.
when you're not in a relationship or not going through any problem, the lyrics itself will just make you sad. Sad. My friends will be like, "Why are you sad?" I don't know. It's just sad. So yeah, if it's like all hyped up, it's always Bollywood, and if gonna get somewhere melodical and classical, I think I would go for Collywood.
Yeah, like for me, like I am a huge Bollywood fan. I'm not really familiar with Collywood because like I don't understand Tamil, and sometimes I do watch it with like subtitles, and like their movies can be really like fun to watch with all those action packed, like it's very entertaining. But I usually watch more like Bollywood just for like the actors and like just like the storyline. Although the storyline is always the same, like there is always nothing like different about most Bollywood movies. But recently there have been like a lot of like good Hindi movies as well, and the music is like the best for me because I usually just listen to like Bollywood songs, not that much of like English songs or whatever. Just Bollywood is like my go-to music, and it's just that like those like emotional songs are just like, even like Vino said, like even though you're not going through anything, it's just that when you listen to music, you just get in that zone and like you're just like, oh my god, it's like just I'm in like a different space. My head is in like a different space. You just like vibe with that song so much. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Even for me personally, I'm more of a Bollywood fan. I think it's because like I don't really understand Tamil. So, but yeah, I do watch their movies with subtitles, of course, and I feel like their movies are actually nice. Like sometimes they have certain movies like the storyline is completely different. It's not like where there's a hero, there's a heroine, and then they fall in love, and then like the father don't agree, and then he go kidnap, like those kind of things. Like yeah, some movies like in Collywood, I see it's a bit different. So that's what like I like to watch, like more of an action kind of thing. But like if in terms of songs, then of course it's Bollywood all the way. And I think like one thing that Vinor and Marvin and like me have in common is like they spoke about the 90s music, like the old music. And I feel like whether it's Collywood or Bollywood, it's just like the old music has a different touch, like compared to the music these days. And like for myself also, like if I were to go like and listen to a Bollywood song, like my first preference would be to go to the old music. Yeah. So like it's just, when you listen to the music and then you're having a bad day also, it lifts your mood. And if you want to distract yourself from some kind of thought, like, yeah, just go there, just play your, playlist and listen to it, and it's all good. But one thing about Bollywood and Hollywood music is that, as Marvin mentioned previously, is that it's very extra, it's very dramatic, very, very dramatic. And I think, like, as a girl, it gets like my hopes high for like my future, my future whatever, right? It gets my hopes high. Like, like there's this one scene of like, the Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan where like the Kajol sari, the scarf was stuck at the guy's baju, and then the girl will go and like, oops, like,
That's like a typical like scene of like any Bollywood movie. It's like that's how the love story starts, and I'm just like, if this were to happen in real life, I swear like everyone would be like so in love right now.
Like it's so cool. And then like there's another one more scene is like where the girl is leaving already at the airport, and then the guy will come, no, don't go, I love you.
Even though the girl's really boarded in the terminal, the guy still managed to go through the terminal, through the security guards. Yeah, so if you try to do that in real life, I think probably you go to jail.
Yeah, exactly. So like this kind of things like gives our hopes high. And then like also in terms of romance, like it makes it like, it doesn't make it very realistic. Like, yes, it's all fun and nice and it's sweet, it's romantic, but when you come to the real world, I don't think that's what that happens. And when it doesn't happen, like when you don't meet up with your movie expectations, and then you get disappointed, and then like you will think like, what lie in the movie, like, stuff like that.
But at least it gives you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually boosts your confidence lah. So when it comes to romance or anything, you tend to feel more livelier. You think about the scenario back then in the movie, and when you see a girl there, you think, oh, I'm going to Shah Rukh Khan this, I am going to Varun that, I'm going to do this, going to do that. But then if things doesn't go in your way, you feel very sad and all, and depressed. And that's where the song comes in. The song will come in, and then whatever mood you have right now, you play accordingly with the song that you want. It doesn't matter whether it's sunny. Sometimes when it's rainy, you play all these sad songs to actually fill up the day. Or if late night drive, you play these Bollywood songs to hype you up all the way. So it plays along like every part. It plays like every part of my life. Like in my daily life, it's always there. Like the movies, the songs, because I've been living with it since young. That is why.
And sometimes like in all this Bollywood Hollywood movie, right, the family would be huge. Some people might think that this is just for the sake of movie, but actually in like these brown families are huge. We have relatives everywhere. Like I'm still meeting new relatives every year that like I never knew they existed. So that's another thing that I like about the movies, where everyone comes in together, and then you'll just get confused. It's like, who's what now? Just because like everyone will be interrelated.
Okay, so I think like that's it for the questions. We had we're gonna have like a segment on IG feedback questions that we posted on the Taylor's University Student Council's Instagram page. So we have a few questions that were asked.
Wow.
So the first question is, what do you guys think of dating as a desi dating?
Okay, you want to go first?
Something?
You want to say something?
Being secretive. First rule, parents should not know.
Oh.
Second rule, what caste are you? Your numerology, all those things comes in.
I think Marvin can't agree with that.
I don't know. I can agree some part of it, and some part of it I wouldn't agree, because it depends from which family it is. Because if it's like a real typical kind of Indian family, you got to marry your own race lah. If you were to marry to Islam, or you were to marry to another race, and it may involve in changing your name and everything, it will bring shame to the family. Which I feel like it's up to you actually, because it's your love life, it's the life that you want to do. So
what about you, Jess? What is it like dating for you?
I can tell that as long as my mom doesn't walk in. For me, my parents are more like the type where you're a Punjabi, you get someone like a Punjabi and all. And I don't think that, of course, they wouldn't be open to the idea of me getting like a partner with the other religion and converting and stuff like that. No. But I mean, I have thought of like before this, before this, before this.
You're looking for the mom. Hello, auntie. If you're listening to this, Jesveena is just speaking about her love life.
Before this, like I used to always picture myself being with a white guy, like
Mm.
being
Wow.
with a white
Ooh.
guy.
Oh,
Well, ooh.
like
I used to think,
Caucasian, is it?
yes, correct. So like I used to always like picture myself like that. But then like there was one day where we were having this family talk and stuff like that. And then I just jokingly said lah, I was like, I'm gonna get a white guy. My mom was like, you get a white guy, you pack your things and you go out of the house. And I'm like, oh no.
I think for boys it's much more a bit different than girls when it comes to brown household lah. This one I have to put up a point because usually for guys, if you don't get a girlfriend at the age of 18 or 19, they will say what's wrong with you. But for a girl to get a boyfriend at that age, they will think as bad as it will get very bad actually. They'll say it's a sin, it's a bad thing to do, and they start going out making noises. They start they start to make it a scene instead of having the boy having the same issue. But yeah, for girls, they have a hard time to pick their love partners depending on their parents also, because sometimes their parents prefer they pick instead of the person that you should pick for your love life. And for boys, they can get to pick whoever they want, which I feel like there should be an equality to both. So I really hope in the coming future days, like ourselves in the future, if we become father and mother, we do understand the kids
Yeah, I think
understanding.
that's the one thing that we should learn from our parents.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think we will though. I think we know, like, because this is something that we want as well. So when we are like having our own kids, we would probably like do what we wanted when we were younger and not really like what our parents like did. Because I think like for our parents as well, like for most parents, like they act a certain way because that's how they were brought up. So it's very difficult for them to change their opinion or like the way they are behaving towards their kids or like their way of thinking as such, because that's how they were brought up when they were younger and that's how things went with them. So it's very difficult for them to like change their mindset as well. But I think like everything is evolving, like the world is evolving, and I'm sure like everyone in the future will like have different mindsets as well. Yeah.
But like they think within like our, let's say like Tamil and like stuff like that, Punjabi and Punjabi, I think that it's also good, like in a way when I look at it, right, like let's say when we go to like a family function, a Punjabi wedding, and let's say like my boyfriend or my husband is a Punjabi, like he also joined, he understand what's going on. But let's say like if I were to marry like a different religion and also like if he were to come for the like function with me, then he would be like a little lost, like like he wouldn't like mingle around much. And like the songs and everything, like when you're dancing, like the songs like got a lot of emotions and whatsoever, right? Yeah, I don't think like it would feel the same if like you have like a spouse that's a different religion. So that's like the plus point of getting the same religion type.
I think it's because of like the cultural clash as well. Like if you're dating or like you're marrying someone from a different like culture as you, it's very difficult for them to adapt, and it's also difficult for you to adapt to their culture as well. But because Indian culture is so over the top and so like extra and so like I don't know, out there, it might be difficult for the spouse who is not Indian to like adjust to your lifestyle as such. Yeah.
I think the Indian culture is actually trending right now among the globe. I think if you ask me, like yoga, meditation, white people are actually doing it, and a lot of things that they are actually catching up from different countries from the Indian side, which I'm actually very proud to be an Indian actually by looking at all those things that our ancestors taught our parents, and our parents are teaching us. But then again, it's for me, I feel like it's not about the religion. It's about the person. If the person really loves you in a way, really cares for you, the person will really willing to change, willing to compromise for you. So when it comes to events or anything, the person will actually do things out of the box to actually impress you. So for example, like if I have a girl that's Punjabi and I'm an Indian, but I don't know how is it like for them to for example, they have like a event called Sangeet night, because that's where they always dance and everything. And just say if I'm not a good dancer or anything, I would do my very best to actually impress the person, because it's at the end of the day, it's about the love that you actually have for the person. So from that person will actually see if you are genuine, that you really want that genuine bond among each other. So that is why it doesn't matter about the religion lah. It's about the person lah for me, as for me. But then again, sometimes religion can be play a part also because it's a bit difficult. But at the same time, the person has to put the effort to actually make the changes.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like okay, from Marvind's point of view and Justina's point of view, right? As for girls, they will have this mindset where we will have to follow our spouse's way. So it will be like if our spouse is from a different religion or race, we have to follow their way. So that would be a main reason for the parents to say no. If it's a boy, like let's say if my brother is finding a girl who's from a different religion, they would be more open to it because somehow the girl is gonna be with my brother and follow my brother. But if it's me who's gonna look for a guy in a different religion, which I'm trying to talk them out of, so they are like, no, you're gonna follow them, you are supposed to be here, not be something else from what you are not. And yeah, so it's very hard to change their mentality in there, saying that it's just when you like someone, you like someone. This race, religion doesn't play along. It doesn't come in. Yeah.
I think that kind of answers like the next question that we had, which was like, how would desi parents react to bringing home a partner from a different race?
These questions are not about dating and not about this. Okay.
That's what our Instagram followers asked. So
okay. I think my parents would act a bit shocked, but at the same time because they would be happy also because coming, my parents and I think my family members are open-minded to where we actually we welcome with open arms to people with different religion because we would like to learn more about them. It really depends on the family also because we are fine by learning other cultures about other religions because we know so much about our own culture. So getting someone who's from a different culture would be fun also because, for example, like a white people, like what Jesveena would say, like just say if it was a wedding night, the white guy wears a jippa and the family members wear sari, jippa and all. They put the funeral, they put everything. They look very Indianish, even though they are full white. It looks the thing is, from that aspect, you tend to enjoy it lah. I mean, I feel that I enjoy having different religion. If I were to date somebody out of my religion, it's really depends on the person lah. That's all I can say.
Vino?
Bring someone to my family, that is a very hard question because I'm still figuring out what are these people actually thinking. I know my father would say no. That's a very obvious thing because few days back he said if you're gonna get married to someone that I'm gonna find you, then you'll get I'll just give you all this, you'll get a house to stay and all those. But if you're gonna find for someone else, please leave home. Easy as that.
So they're like they wanna arrange marriage kind of thing.
Yeah, they feel like because their love marriage they had all kind of ups and downs, right? So they feel like they rather see someone well settled and everything. And then my mom was like, okay, you fine, you give me a list of boys who can be.
Wow.
And I will see all the numerology things. And I was like,
wow. Okay.
that's my mom. So yes, that is so I feel like I can't bring anyone at my house right now saying that this is my boy. They'll be like, please get out of my house right now.
I think that I can relate with that as well. Indian parents can be quite overprotective when it comes to their daughters. They don't want any harm to their daughter, and they don't want their daughters to make mistakes or anything or go through heartbreaks and all that. So I think that's why they choose to not allow their daughters to date when they're young. Maybe once they mature, maybe I don't know what age that is, but once they mature, they will be in a better mindset to find partners. Which I mean, I agree, but I don't know. Sometimes it can be hard, Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that because I do have a younger sister with me, so I do know what is the ups and downs already. So I tend to be a bit more protective among my sister. I do know it's a bit of I shouldn't do that, but then again, just to protect her, maybe from parents' perspective, it may look a bit aggressive, but from my side, because I'm a bit more understanding, I'll just tell, I'll just sit down and talk about it and all. So yeah, that is the issue. Oh yeah, and also my parents, the reason why my parents are very open-minded is because they fell in love among each other since STPM, so around like 18 or 19 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's
that
kind of
is why.
cute.
Yeah, so that's why from 18 until now they are 47 this year. So yeah, they got married on 25 and 26. I was sub guys. So yeah, yeah. So that is why my parents are really open-minded to the any religion or anything also. And also not to say I'm also fully Tamil actually, because my grandmother is Pakistani Muslim. So that is why we do have a mixture in my family. So we are welcome. We do welcome for any religion actually to anyone. So yeah. But my mom do always say, don't get a typical kind of Indian family to join us.
Like what? Like religious, is it?
Not to say only religious, like very traditional, but to the sense where it's also open-minded, where anything is like a bit chinchai. It's just like anything also can
Like flexible.
Flexible, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be very flexible, because if it's not, then it's gonna have a lot of issues in the future. Yeah.
All right, then I guess here comes to the end of this episode of Keeping Up with the Taylorians podcast. Before wrapping up, I would leave the floor to our representative from Taylor's Indian Cultural Society and also Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club to give their last few words to our viewers. So guys, go ahead and promote your club. So, Vino, maybe you can start this.
Hi guys, again I'm Vino and I'm the current president of Taylor's Indian Cultural Society. It's for anyone who's interested in learning the Indian culture, like how you spoke about right now. We have a lot of different diverse culture, and join us and have more fun with us.
Okay.
Marvin?
All right. Thanks, Jesveena, for the introduction. Okay, and all right. So, guys, my name is Marvin, and just have to repeat myself, the president for Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club. As this club was established a few months back, around August 2020, due to the pandemics, we do have classes, but it's going to move up to online so far, so virtually. So what we actually provide is two type of dances. Taylor's Bollywood fitness is something like Zumba. Yes, Priti, that's the way. And also moving on, Taylor's Bollywood choreography. So the difference between Bollywood fitness and Bollywood choreography is just a very short difference. Bollywood fitness is more towards you exercising and sweating it out with the Bollywood songs, with the fast-paced Bollywood songs. And the next one is Bollywood choreography. It's much more to polish your steps, to actually make sure you're a better dancer than before, because we do have a master for this club. And also in the coming future, when we have tournaments or anything, you can always represent for Taylor's Bollywood Dance Club. So we are looking big. We are looking not only for a short term, we are looking for a long term for this club. So if anyone's interested, you can always join. And an upcoming event coming up, it's called it's a free Zumba class. A Zumba session will be choreographed. It'll be conducted by me and the master. So it'll be on the 20th of February. So please keep in touch. I think it'll be posted very soon. This is just a sneak peek. I'm not supposed to say it, but it's okay. I'll just say it here. But yeah, it will be on the 20th of February. Please stay tuned for more in our Instagram and Facebook. And once again, I would like to thank Priti, Jesveena, and Vino for having me also together to get up and keeping up with Taylorians. And I'm very happy and excited to speak about the brown culture.
All right. Thank you, Vino and Marvin, for joining us, of course. It was a pleasure having such energetic guests for this session, and we are definitely looking forward to more future collaborations with all of you. As to our listeners, do follow our Instagram page at Taylor's Uni Student Council and get yourselves updated on events, news, and activities happening in Taylor's. You can also find us on Facebook. Just type in Taylor's University Student Council and catch up on all our future podcast episodes and events. Make sure to also like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to our YouTube channel at Taylor's University Student Council. That's all for our podcast today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be right back with more episodes on Keeping Up with Taylorians. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and bye!
Bye!
Bye.
Woo! Bye!